Welcome. So I'm just so grateful. So this is part two of the Alpha Sigma friendship that we are discussing here in our own spiritual evolution and just understanding it for our own healthy, wealthy, stealthy DIY type of development that we got here in our own kind of journey, on our own kind of journey in alchemy. So please do not watch this video if you have yet to see video number 1, which I'm just so grateful. Although I forgot to put the charger thing on so that everything shut off. But the video is still, so it's uploading, it's processing and all that kind of stuff. So there's gonna be 2 videos to this. Excuse me, appearance, but I wasn't planning on recording, so this is important. And all this kind of stuff. So I was reading about the Sigma female, and we're gonna just continue from there because I really do have to wrap this up. So this is gonna be shorter than the first. So make sure you watch the first in order to know where we're continuing, because I'm continuing right here. Like no time has really passed except for me to turn the computer back on. So bear that in mind. So we're still in the energy of that, like, you know what I mean? So we were reading from the trulycharming.com. You can go check that out yourself and stuff like that. Where were we up to? She's loyal, we read that. She's right, she's not rebelling against anything. She's ignoring the rules entirely and making her own. She accepts that other people have the right to live how they want, and she's asserting her right to do the same. What society thinks about it is frankly none of her business. She left it that way. She's self-reliant, we said this already. She's assertive, we did this. All right, so the Sigma female is assertive. In society and in corporate cultures, this can give her a reputation of being a bitch, but that's misogyny for you. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I've been called a bitch in the office environment because why so serious? While everybody's all like social and gossipy and all this kind of stuff. And I was usually, especially when I worked in the fashion industry, because there's cattiness, there's pettiness, there's a lot of stuff, there's a competitiveness, there's a lot of things in that industry. And yeah, I'm a worker bee, I'm ambitious and all that kind of stuff, and that kind of ambition, and I'm also starting from the bottom and now we're here. So like any kind of elevate or any kind of thing is like, who's sleeping? Right? So so here we are. But it's really not, it's just you don't participate with that kind of stuff. Like you make kind of office friends and then you have your individual like chats with certain kind of people. But all that group dynamic and like, you know, fitting in with the crowd, you clearly stick out like a sore thumb, right? So it would in fact be admired, but because she's a woman, she may have a bad reputation because she stands up for herself. All right. So she's authentic. The Sigma female is authentic. See, so even just so like the difference between Alpha and Sigma. So Alpha adapts in their environment to fit the feed of their environment. So if they lead, they adjust. Their what dynamic of them is going to sell themselves to the crowd. The Sigma does not. The Sigma is going to be who they are, when they are, how they are, whether you like it or not, right? So, and this is why some would say, oh, they're not a leader because they're supposed to lead the pack and all this kind of stuff, where the alpha will adapt to like, and also come from a alpha stance of like, power, like do as I say, don't question anything else about it, you know, and things like that. So, you know, so, and then too, like here in this toxic spiritual community, especially here on YouTube, you have all these YouTubers, right? All these tarot readers and stuff adapting to their crowd. This is the type of pick of cards that are selling, or this is the type of pick of cards that are popular. This is the type of talk. Instead of, you know, being authentic about what they're called to do, they're called to study the crowd and then adapt to that environment. That's a fucking difference. Like it really is. Like the Sigma, if you're on YouTube, you're just creating your videos in accordance to that, which is your divine right plan naturally too. You know what I mean? So this lone wolf woman isn't trying to emulate anyone else. There ain't no bitch that I ever wanted to be, nor will want to ever fucking be. Do you understand that? So how can there ever be any jealousy? There ain't never been no person on this planet Even if I admired them, even if they seem to have everything all great and all this kind of stuff, it's admiration and it's inspiration and it's motivation for me. And it's, wow, thank you, angel, for even allowing me in your presence. Wow. But dang, no shoe I'd rather wear than my own. She thinks she's pretty awesome as she is. Not because she's conceited, but because she's content with herself. There you go. She doesn't need to pretend to be anyone else. And she's just not a game player. The Sigma woman keeps it simple by always being true to who she is and not trying to be anything she's not. Period. She values honesty. I used to say, what's the biggest offense you can do to me is lie to me. We take all those things back, right? It's like, wait a minute, there's bigger offenses than that. But I used to, because I'm like, it's just, for me, it's just unforgivable. Like, you know, are you looking at me and you lying to me, and I may not be able to prove your lie, but I feel your lie. So now you just upset my ecosystem. Unforgivable. Because now you got me percolating. I'm wasting my energy going through, sifting through your life. So now we have the evolution of that, where it's like, you know what? It's not for me to pick apart your life. That's for you to do. Right? So because she despises, because an wolf is unfailingly authentic, she despises lies and liars. She simply has no tolerance for dishonesty, especially in her presence, his or her presence. Like, mind reader, right? Her love of honesty means she'll respect you for speaking up, even if what you have to say hurts her feelings. Now I've had this done too. They're like, oh yeah, you mean what you say? So here you go. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I take that too. Right? So she prefers honesty to even the kindest little white lie. Betrayal doesn't sit well with the Sigma female, not that it sits well with anyone, but because she values honesty so much, she will see a lack of integrity in others as a deal breaker. She may not unfriend you, but she will certainly remove people who betray her from her inner circle. She has a close relationship with the truth and vibes well with others who feel the same. She hates gossip. The Sigma female is all about integrity, and that's why she can't stand gossip. She's not interested in unfounded rumors, conjecture, or even gossip that's absolutely confirmed to be true, right? She lives by the motto, is it kind, is it true, is it necessary? And knows gossip is none of these. She just doesn't like this low vibing energy of talking about other people behind their backs. And if you watch my other video, I have said since junior high school, I have lived with that saying, right? And nothing I would say about a motherfucker behind their back that I'm going to be able to tell them to their face. That's my code. Ethics. You got a lot of mofos that will talk mad shit behind your back and will never tell you to your face. That ain't me. If I say something behind your back that I have no intention of telling you, it's still something that if you ask me if I said it, the fact that I said it means it goes back to my roots and my rule and my ethics and my code. There's nothing about a mofo that I wouldn't say behind their back that I wouldn't be able to tell them to their face. Because I had to face those kind of things. I've had people come to me where I've said something to someone else, to the wrong person, that may have been hurtful, like, oh, I don't like her, or like, let's say something like that. Like, meanwhile, I'm friends with this person. Like, you know, like, this is junior high school shit, like I said, because I learned this in junior high school. Okay? Right? That, because, you know, whatever, or I chimed in. See, I have never been one to create the gossip, but I've learned from chiming in to it at an early age. And when I chimed in, the enemies took the chime in. Mind you, they're the gossip starters. And they went and they told the individual my chime in. So that's another thing. right? The people that be talking all the gossip, all the shit, all the kind of stuff, they're instigators, right? They're instigators. And then you come in, you chime in, you participate. Oh shit, everybody heard your chime, everybody heard your participate because all these mofos talking about all of that. But you chimed in for, I didn't start this shit. I just chimed in. And now you want to go told that bitch what I chimed in about. Why don't you go say what everything you fucking said? We're not talking about that though. Nah, because the attack is on you. Right? In your character. Right? So you grow from these kind of experiences. And so you develop strength in your position. And I developed strength in that position. Now nobody was going to catch me with any kind of challenge. Because there's nothing about a mofo that I wouldn't say behind their back that I wouldn't be able to tell them to their face. So if I said it behind your back and you come and say now, and maybe it wasn't that nice. Even though I don't really talk unnicely about people. And if I say anything that seems to not be nice about somebody, it's through the experience that which we experience. And I'm only saying that which is done. It's not like I'm like, oh, like, no, it's like, this person did, like, you know, like, you get what I mean? Like, I don't want to go into specific details because this could be played around with. We're not trying to do all of that. So, like, so anyway, like, so yeah, these codes and ethics that you build and structure for yourself, right? So that's why now, like, look at it. I implemented this law for myself since junior high school. I'm 41. How with consistency, right? With consistency. And it doesn't mean that throughout these years I haven't been tested with that consistency. I have been made to have to say uncomfortable things that I may have said because I was confronted. But that was only to solidify my stance, strengthen my empowerment and my truth. So imagine now people gossiping, lying, right? And they're telling this person, oh my God, this is what she said about blah, 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 blah. And now this person comes, I heard, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, and let's say this is 41 years later, right? Like this is later on after this junior high school bullshit and all this 30 plus years of consistency. Tell me where it's not consistent. Right? With consistency. And this person steps to you. Right? I have to say it too, page, because I saw the page, right? The page of swords here, like upside down in my mind, right? So it's like a page kind of person coming to you, younger, stupid, foolish, right? Learning. Nah, they said that, and that person is in their ear like, nah, man. Tell me, look, and they're pulling falsified cards too. Let's say there's tarot. Oh my God, look. But mind you, the tarot at that point is their mirror, right? So sometimes these falsified spiritualist tarot readers and the readers, when they're reading about the karmics, the cards are coming up for them, but they're reading it as a karmic when they are. Like this is again, I don't, like I said, go back to the video number 1 of this when I talk about labels, and we're not using them as stamping, we're just using them as a point of reference of identification. Okay, so yeah, so anyway, she's not judgmental. All right, wait. She just likes this, she doesn't like this low vibing energy. It's all right, so great, that's all. So now they come in there in their ear, whispering in their ear, and you're like, listen, there ain't nothing about you that I would say behind your back that I want to be able to tell you to your face. I don't know what you're talking about. And they want to be all, you know, like, blah, blah, blah. Now, I know, my cards told me too. You're distorted. So think about the distortion. If you're distorted and you're pulling cards, it's a mirror. Play that back. If you are distorted and you are pulling cards, it's a mirror. Especially if you're talking about negatively about other people. Right? So she just doesn't like this low vibing energy of talking about other people behind their back. She's definitely more like to say it to your face than talk about it with others. Yeah, I'm skipping. Communication is key, right? It's a trait that may be off-putting to some, but is an underappreciated sign of integrity. Right? Right? Like I like even like with like people that are close to me now that value me, right? They would say to you, I have never encountered someone so like, as forthright and like if you wear your heart on your sleeve, like there's no like I walk into the room and they can read my truth because I'm not wearing a mask. So it's like I've never seen someone so clear, you know? You should be clear for your friend. If you have a friend that's not clear to you, that's your intuition telling you there's something foggy about this person. Not if you're distorted though. Because if you're distorted looking at like an earth angel, like a person that's coming here to might be the trigger that you need, or the catalyst of the seed or breed that's gonna transform everything for you, and you might plague them with the disease of it's you know what I mean? Because projection be the devil in disguise, right? So like filled with lies. She's not judgmental. The lone wolf female doesn't judge you, not on first impression, not because of something she heard about you. She's more of a wait and see kind of person. She's got an open mind and she sees that humanity is complex and rarely black and white. If her first impression of you isn't good, she's likely allow you a do-over before making any judgment, unless she can see. And it's not even a judgment, it's just a revelation, you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, now can I fudge with you, you know what I mean? We see, because she gets that we all have bad days. She's just not into making snap judgments. She prefers to assess for herself if someone belongs in her inner circle or merely somewhere on the outskirts. Somebody too, like let's say there could be an evolution of you, and there could be someone like younger than you, let's say, and you both trigger each other in that kind of way. It may not be a bad thing. It could be that you guys are just so much alike. Who better to annoy you than someone that's just like you? That's also another thing that can happen. Someone can annoy you. It's just like, certain kind of just like when they say like with your children, when they act like you and you're just so annoyed by it, like, why? Who targeted this? I like all the times I have to say, I'm like, whose kid is this? She's like, yours, mom. Whose kid is that? She's always learning. Have I mentioned that the Sigma female is incredibly intelligent? She's not just book smart either. She's street smart too. It's because she's always absorbing the world around her. She's hungry for knowledge and is always expanding her worldview. This isn't the kind of woman who will commit to an opinion when there's plenty of evidence that she's wrong. This is the woman who conducts her own independent scholarly research because before she comes to a conclusion about a topic that motherfucking straight. She values inner beauty over outer beauty. The Sigma female tends to be beautiful. It's just a fact. There's something about her that just shines. She may not even be the typical perfectly symmetrical beauty standard, but you'll probably think she's lovely anyway. Why? Because she values inner beauty so much more than outer beauty. She's just not superficial. Whether she wears makeup or doesn't, she projects confidence, kindness, self-assurance in something that's just incredibly beautiful. The Sigma female is the woman you just want to be around. She feels good and makes others feel good too about themselves. She's successful. It's unsurprising that the Sigma female is successful. After all, she's strong, independent, and self-reliant. She knows what she wants and goes after it. She's one of those people who sees obstacles merely as opportunities. And while she got plenty of goals, she's enjoying the journey too. In fact, her success may not always measure up to society's view of it, and yet she's successful nonetheless. She understands you can be rich with a poor attitude and broke with a rich one. She's not necessarily climbing the corporate ladder or smiling at you from magazine covers, but she's content with her life all the same. And she knows that true success is measured by happiness, not wealth. Yet, she often manages to create both along the way simply by being herself. She's confident in her own skin. All women are challenged to love themselves in society, and she's no exception. The Sigma female is not entirely impervious to the beauty standards. She knows what they are. She's just decided they don't define her worth as a human being. She's done the impossible for many women and simply embraced herself, flaws and all. And she looks good because she feels good, and she loves her body whether anyone else approves of it or not. In fact, she's probably got a few handy clapbacks up her sleeves for anyone who feels the need to weigh in on how she looks when she hasn't asked for their opinion. She avoids drama. And so she's part of it. And then she shuts the shit down. The ┕𝖵 is never one for drama. Dramatic. I said be dramatic, not traumatic. Be traumatic, not dramatic. She can give as good as she gets in an argument, but she doesn't see the point. She'd much rather find solutions than spend time arguing about different points of view. This makes her an excellent mediator and team member. I'm actually, I was trained in school for stuff like that, for peer mediation, peer counseling, and stuff like that. So I've been doing a lot of peer mediation, peer counseling. Like I did it all through high school, especially too. Like, you get picked, you go away, and you get trained, and you do all this kind of stuff. So like, I was like a peer counselor for many of my peers and stuff like that. So, all the stuff that you have done in training up until the point of you living your life purpose and all this kind of stuff leads you and helps you to realize that you build all these strengths, these skill sets and all this kind of stuff along your journey, right? All these skill sets that I've gathered on my journey come from my experience. I have to appreciate the value that it has imprinted into me, in my being, right? So she'll get right to the heart of the matter and skip the drama. Yeah. I'm like, oh, you're a bitch. Like, she just said that. Yeah. Now we can move past the dramatic. Let's be real blunt over here, right? So in fact, you'll notice that she doesn't keep a lot of high drama people in her life. Too much headache. She finds it exhausting and she doesn't vibe and with that level of constant chaos. She's an innovator. You may have already noticed that the ┕ is creative. You're an artist. You are an artist. You are creative. You have so many different plateaus, different kind of skill sets, different kind of talents that are going to keep on emerging. The more that you tap into, watch my other video about the success of my life and stuff like that. I'll link that here too. There is a creative unblocker activity that I share, and it's just a piece of a piece. It's just it's a very superficial explanation of how to do something so simple that has been getting great results from people that have actually been doing it. It's the labyrinth exercise. And so you go, and I'm going to link the video and stuff like that here. So it's getting out of the chaos of your own mind, right? And getting into the alignment and unblocking that which is for you. And so getting into this creative outlet too. So if you're experiencing any kind of creative blockages, or you want to tap into your most highest creative potential, go see that video. Okay, go see that video, and I'm gonna share the link and stuff like that. Go see that video, and definitely do the exercise, right? Affirmations work when you do. Acts work when you do, but you got to be consistent with it too. You got to build up that leveling of discipline, act, and behavioral pattern and conditioning that you're creating for yourself, right? So she's naturally inventive. She may have already noticed that the ┕ is very creative. She's naturally inventive and sees solutions for everyday problems. She's not thinking outside the box. There is no box as far as she's concerned. This is why so many people go to her for advice, right? So people come to you since you were a child. Since you were a child. You're not sure if this is you since you were a child. The adults in your life, the peers around you, you were the go-to. And still fucking are. Even for your enemies. And they're not even your enemies. They're just misguided in their projections towards you, and their hate towards you. It's just a reflection of the despise and discontentment that they have for themselves. And they need someone to blame or hate. She's not thinking outside the box. There is no box as far as she's concerned. Why so many people go to her for advice. The ┕ won't steer you wrong. She can clearly see the answer from you. If she doesn't have one, she'll dive in and problem solve until she comes up with something. She can be considered intimidated, right? Until they get to know you. I haven't called intimidating on my life. I haven't called so many different things in my life that have been a part of my own suppression, oppression, and denial of my own empowerment towards myself. Don't allow yourself to be victim of that too. Your strengths will put fear in those who are weak, and they'll see it before you know it. And in seeing it before you know it, they will try to snuff it out the best way they can. many people find the Sigma female intimidating. She's smart, she's beautiful, she's successful, and says the top of mind. For some people, that's just hard to do. Some people resent who she is. But a lot of the backlash you get to is just sexism. Plain and simple. A female must have wrote this. A feminist. So I'm reading this, so this is my honesty. This person here is a feminist. See, I understand certain kind of things. I'm not a feminist. I'm a humanist. Because there is no, although these things do exist, misogyny, all this kind of stuff, I'm not knocking it, but again, it's part of the war. It's not the solution. To go and say, you, the sexism of this, you, no, it's everyone, everything. It's not just one side, one person, it's all. So I've never sat well with saying, oh, because people have asked me, oh, are you feminist? Like, I'm a realist. I'm an imaginist. I'm an expressionist. I'm a soloist. I'm a soloist. Hold on. All right. So some people resent who she is, but a lot of the backlash against her is just stuff, whatever. Like I said, this is like a feminist writing this. Sexism could play into it, but a lot of it is also from other of the same gender. Like, a lot of the hate that I like personally have received and envy and all this kind of stuff comes from other females. Granted, I have experienced it with males as well for different other kind of reasons. But my experience has been with both, In fact, she's likely to point out that she's not intimidating just because you're intimidated. Exactly. To her, that sounds like a you problem and none of her business. Go see my post. Just like me. Here, sounds just like you too if you watch it, right? Unless you're the 𝗵𝗆psy right now, or the alpha evolving, or have evolved past this and know what I'm talking about. You get what I'm saying? So she's got a great sense of humor. The next one. While it's not one of the first qualities you might think of in a Sigma female, this lone wolf has a great sense of humor. She's smart, and sometimes she has the most unexpected, perfectly timed zingers. She keeps you laughing, and she can even laugh at herself. If she teases, it's only ever in good fun. She's not the type to make a joke about something that will hurt your feelings, no matter how blunt she might be. Right? Is that you? Right? So she's a bit of a mystery. The Sigma female isn't an easy one for some people to figure out. She is good with people, but doesn't prefer them. She prefers animals. It doesn't say that. She's successful, but doesn't chase leadership positions. Exactly, right? And she's beautiful, but doesn't care about beauty standards. Exactly, right? She's living her best life, but she doesn't care if society approves of it. For many, this is awe-inspiring, but also a little hard to understand. How does she do it? Here we go. Right? Vega, present, spiritual technology. We're going to read about that right now, okay? So she probably tell you that she's just unwilling to be anything but herself. You either get it or you won't, right? She's emotionally intelligent. Have you noticed that the Sigma female can immediately read the room? It's not just a woman's situation. The lone wolf female seems to be attuned to other people's emotions. Point blank, period. And she may, in fact, identify as an empath. Don't let that be your crucifier. Don't let that be your crucifier. Don't let that be that crucifier. And don't, like, you know how people be like, oh, I get depleted from doing energies and all that, because you're not supposed to be doing them. Because if you're in the spirit, you're in the flow, and you're doing all that you're supposed to do to grow, and you do whatever, you don't get drained when you fill with the divine. I've done 20 readings back to 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 back, hyper as fuck right after. Right? I work on that with a lot of people behind the scenes, also about the identifying tags of drainage. You know what I mean? It's not always sometimes how we think. She loves adventure. Right? All right, no. She may, in fact, identify as an empath. She picks up on what other people are saying, even if they're not saying anything at all. She reads energy and body language, and she adjusts accordingly. She loves adventure. The lone wolf woman really does go her own way. She sees life as a marvelous adventure. She doesn't mind traveling alone if it means she gets to see the world. Of course, she treats every day as an adventure and doesn't need an overseas trip to find novelty in the world around her. She loves exploring new perspectives, meeting new people, and having new experience. She's a risk taker and has a long list of adventures she loves to try. She's an unintentional influencer. The Sigma female doesn't care about making friends and influencing people, but she tends to be an unintentional influencer anyway. Her style is trendsetting without her even trying, and other people tend to find her life inspiring. She's just being herself, and it makes other people want to be more themselves too. Yay! 24. She adapts easily. You'll notice that the Sigma female isn't the first to fuss about change. She's probably circulating how to spin them to her advantage. She adapts easily and she sees the possibilities within the challenges, right? That doesn't mean she loves every change. It just means she's strong enough to figure out how to make the unexpected work for her. From changes at work to a broken heart, she turns it into the ultimate glow up. Oh no, I don't know. My daughter be like, Ma, but why? Why? ┕ᔮᗰ She chooses powerful partners for equitable relationships. The Sigma female may be a career woman, a stay-at-home mom, a food rules, and fancy-free traveler, or anything else, but there's one thing you should understand about her. She's only down for powerful partners in equitable relationships, right? Who the hell wants to be in a relationship that I gotta pick you up, I gotta cuddle you, I gotta make you feel like you're strong too? Granted, you do all those kind of things too, but you want an equal partner, you want a complementary partner. If you want to be in a toxic relationship where you're both feeding each other and healing each other and all that kind of stuff, then that's the energy, frequency, vibration that you're in, right? That healing one and all that kind of stuff. But when you're in your power dynamic of your own kind of success and your own kind of alignment, why would you want to downgrade in energy, frequency, vibration? You don't have to be the same as your complementary partner, but you want someone that's going to uplift you, inspire you, motivate you, be your own kind of muse too, right? The same way that you're going to be for them. And where one lacks, the other one uplifts, where the other, vice versa. It's like this yin and yang kind of flow. Grow, we pick up, we know, we work together as one. We are one, we are complementary to each other in every kind of way. Why would you want to have to listen? I was with a psychopath. He didn't want none of my shine. See, sometimes you gotta take power and control of that too. Like distractions can come in and try to like mess you up and all this kind of stuff. Like even if it's your kid or whatever the case may be, like I'm like, listen, I gotta go, I'm recording. Like, yeah, I'm trying not to lose my spirited, like, you know, time. Like you just wasting my time right now with this conversation. I'll talk to you later. Cause I don't yap on the phone. I'm not a phone yapper, and I rarely be on the phone. I don't talk on the phone. Like unless it's necessary, work related, like money related, like shit like that. Like that's when I'm on the phone, or like it's a holiday, like, you know, you calling my grandma, my dad. Like I don't consider that. And my kid, my daughter, you know, like, and then the close people that you have within you, like it's like, you know, text or whatever and stuff like that, and phone too, or I see you. The people that are in my life, I see. Right? So we don't need to be all the time like yapping over the phone and all this kind of shit. So that was just, you know, my daughter was doing something. And like, because she's waiting for something, she want to waste my fucking time. I'm like, I'm doing something. I love you, but I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love you. Speak to you soon. Like, I'll see you soon. You know what I mean? So like, even that, putting your like, you know, whatever, we're gonna get back into this because I gotta go. She's not interested in partners who don't have their lives together. Oh my gosh, it's so funny too. Like my cousin, somebody was telling her that somebody was like interested in me and stuff like that, and just like her own assessment of like that person. Like I don't even know who this person is. Honestly, I didn't get to see. It didn't even pass. Like it didn't even pass the middleman. You get what I'm saying? And she's like, like she is so like she has all her shit and ducks in a row, and like he don't even have the same amount of drive as like her. Like that's like a negative right there. Like I didn't even get to he didn't even get to pass the middleman. But my cousin told me about it anyways, and I was just laughing. I was like, yo, you're funny. Like, and it's not cock blocking. It didn't cock block anything because I get it. I know what you mean. Like, what you think this is over here. Like, like whatever. There's always like, because anytime, especially if you are like this and all this kind of stuff, when you meet people, especially of the opposite sex or the gender that which you are drawn to or attracted to or mess with and all this kind of stuff. Because even for me, I'm straight, right? But like, well, even females, like that are lesbians and all this kind of stuff, like, and they'll gravitate towards me and stuff, and they get that possessive, like, yo, I want to turn you. I'm like, I can't be turned. I can't be turned, but whatever, right? So it's like you can't be turned, and so and when I like guys too, like every single one, like they want to wife you, like, or own you, or like collar you, and let's go, like you're my queen, and all this, like that twin flame soulmate kind of thing, and everybody thinks you their flame. You know what I mean? Like if you get the book, The Dark and Light of My Soul, like it addresses without addressing like that whole twin flame kind of spiritual toxicity that got going all over this like industry over here and stuff like that. And it's just interesting, the ignition, the clarity that comes from the dives when you take those deep dives and all this kind of stuff. But like, when you are alive, you are going to be that flame. You are going to be that for everyone that you come into their midst, right? And they want a piece of it. They want that hit. Take a hit. Oh my God, I need that fix. I want that fix. You are my fix. Like, you feel good. You're a feel good vibe. So everyone that comes into contact with your energy, like they want more of it. Like, nah, that's for me. That possessiveness, you know what I mean? So, especially with that Sigma kind of energy and style, it's not that doesn't exist for you. You know what that feels like, right? The ownership that comes with some kind of like relationship that could be really intense, that they want to own you. And they don't want nobody to date like that. When I was talking about before I hit pause about the psychopath, like he didn't want anyone to see me. I understand why now. I didn't see it then. But he wanted to snuff out every ounce of brightness in me. Even in one of his own psychopathic ways, I was tied up, I was being threatened, I was being beat. He had fucking weapons, he's just on a monstery. Hysterically crying like the monster he was. Saying, oh my God, I'm gonna go to hell for this. My God's angel. Right? There are monsters looking like humans out there. That will snuff you out if you let them. You can feel defenseless. You are strong. To rise. Knowing you are powerful. That's they trust. And you still. She's not interested in partners who don't have their lives together, minds together, bodies together, souls, wisdom. You don't gotta be perfect. You gotta be in alignment. And that little horny fuck thinking that just because I spark your lust. And you think we're gonna fuck out of here. Men who have integrity too, because you're a hot tamale too, right? Hot commodity. You are it. And everybody wants to get a hit of this. I'm gonna kick my daughter's ass. I love my comen. Kick my ass. See, but that should be like the people that you make the exceptions for when you do how you do discernment. Use that too, right? Like this is my daughter. I created this scene, this beautiful scene. And granted, I'm not enabling anything toxic right now, but you know, she just keeps calling her mother because she has this moment of solitude time and she's talkative and she has me on her mind that she wants to share these things with. I'm grateful for that. So we can't also be so caught up, lost in so many different dynamics of what we gotta do and that we don't be alive to be present to, you know? So she doesn't want a partner who doesn't know how to source clean clothes or meals without her help. She needs an equal partner who is willing to have an equitable relationship with her, complementary. And she wants someone who is fully evolved, who's a fully evolved adult, who can have fascinating conversations, make her laugh, and can enrich her already rich life. A word of caution about the Sigma female. The Sigma female is a force to be reckoned with. A woman with all the powerful traits of an alpha, but none of the societal constraints. In the hierarchy of social archetypes, many see her as on par with the alpha female, while many would argue that the Sigma female is altogether superior. This is where the danger of archetypes exists. This is the inner silent war. Do you hear this? Sigma. You have alpha friendship. And it's starting new. The spiritual awakening processes too. There's an animosity, a silent animosity that you might feel. It may not be clear, but some higher part of you fucking knows, for real, that the alpha energy has something in it, has something off with you, even if you are great friends. They don't tend to be jealous or envious or stuff like that because they are it. They're the it girls. But with you, it's different, and it brings up a trigger for them that the supreme alpha female knows the hell she worked on to get herself in that superiority of not being in that position anymore. That creates the toxic alpha female. And those numbers are low. There are some in training right now going through the fire. It's an inner battle, but they are the highest power and authority to do that which is right. And they will do the Sigmas right, even if they're not there. So, the 50-50. Everywhere we go, it's 50-50. Some will do, some will not. Right? So, when we categorize one human as superior to another, we come dangerously close to dehumanizing each other. So let's stop doing that. We're each one, teach one, reach one. It's true that leaders, both alpha and sigma females, tend to have magnetic personality. Let's embrace it. We each have something to contribute. It's beautiful, especially if we can be harmonious with one another. That's the friendship that's been trying to be built since the existence of time. When will we get it right? By identifying that which is not right. And that's the silent war of animosity, hidden envy and jealousy, and secret energies at war with one another because of the trigger that gets triggered upon friendshipping. It is true that leaders, both alpha and sigma female, tend to have magnetic personalities that attract us to them, while beta females tend to be wallflowers, happy to stay in behind the scenes roles. That doesn't make one lifestyle more intrinsically valuable than the other. In fact, many archetypes for women assign more power and influence to the women who have more typically masculine traits, while assigning weakness and passivity to women who prefer quiet nurturing to outspoken leadership. There's an underlying misogyny here that cannot be ignored. It's feminist. Clearly upset. In fact, it's possible that gender fluidity has sprung up from a desire to eliminate traditional social norms in favor of allowing all genders to freedom of full human expression. I like it. When we categorize and sort our fellow humans into archetypes, we can overlook their individuality, humanity, and value in favor of any evil. These labels often box people into their assigned categories and add unnecessary synthetic pressure to our lives. Listen, I don't want to read the whole fucking article, right? But like I said, you can find it at trulycharming.com. Let's get to this one right here. So we got spiritual technology, right? Which equates to 5. 5 is all about change, transformation. But before transformation can ever occur, transmutation must happen. And in order for transmutation to happen, identification must happen too. And in order for identification to happen, one must be in their present state of identifying, you know? See when I do that, sorry. Letting it all out. The ancient vegan mystics became quite adept at creating spiritual technology. This refers to using tools such as crystals, wands, geometry, and so on to enhance spiritual experiences or perform a function, such as cleaning the energy in a home or healing a person. Originally, these tools were meant to be an enhancement of spiritual practices, but over time, the vegans became independent of them and forgot that the power was not in the object. If you see the video that I did the other day, which was, what did I name it? Yellow hands. It's very size. Yellow. Life living expressionist. Entertainer. In not gonna way. I don't know how to do voices without making faces. I don't know what to say. I love the faces and the voices. Do the voices and the faces are there? Ay. Okay, stop. It annoys my daughter. I'm gonna be like, stop, I'm gonna get a headache. But the post was Black League. Black League warriors and hybrids awaken more. Spiritual pioneers. Creep deep tunnel wisdom, right? So go check that one out where I had shared when it had when it's crazy when you can talk about the decades of time that passed. Like I could be like, well, 20 years ago, and it'd be relevant. Like 20 years ago, so this happened, right? 25 years ago, this happened, right? And it's like life was being lived because you were at an old enough age that life was still being lived. It's like, right? So 20, I want to say it was like 18 years ago. I don't know. Or so, when I had to purge all my tarot or my books, I spoke about that in that video. So like when I was going through another like spiritual deep awakening, what was most important was these things, these tools, these things I'm using more important and credible than the relationship I have with my intuition, with source, with all of that is me? Or is it these things that I need and all this kind of stuff that I'm relying upon, dependent upon to bring to me the clarity that can only go be found deep, 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 deep. Keep traveling, my child. I got your hand. Now pray. There. Figure it out. So yeah, I talk about that over there. My itchy eyes. Right, so originally these tools were meant to be an enhancement of spiritual practices. But over time, the vegans became dependent on them and forgot that the power was not in the objects. It's not, it's you. You don't need cards to read. And if you do, it's because you're not tapped in, turned on, tuned in. I don't need cards to read. I like the cards. They became an art form for me to use. I have been intuitively reading since before 5 years old, but I say when I share with people, 5. I say 5 enough, to be fair minded. Because whenever I say before that, people like, and then I see the dive that they go and then they doubt more. So 5 seems to be like a reasonable enough age for people to be like, oh, okay. Yeah, she could have been using cards at that time without questioning it. Meanwhile, it was younger when they started talking to me in a different way. By the time I was 9, my uncle had already decided that I should have a real pair of tarot cards because let me read tarot the right way, is what he said. Meanwhile, cartomancy is a thing. You know what I'm saying? And so originally these tools were meant to be an enhancement of spiritual practices, but over time the vegans became dependent on them and forgot that the power was not in the object. This was a profound lesson for them. Right? So without your tools, who are you? Connected to source. Thank you for being here. Well, examine how you use spiritual tools now. Do you depend on them more than your own inner power? So that video that I posted was a catalyst to the emerging next card. So if you're here, subscribe. And if you're resistant to subscribing, understand that your evolution won't occur until you do. That sounds mean, right? And it sounds, oh, that's egoic to say, but part of the evolutionary process, because you shouldn't have resistance to subscribe to someone's channel. That's not healthy, wealthy, selfish. Especially if you're benefiting from it. So you depend on them more than your inner power. In a middle development era of the vegan civilization, a branch of spiritual science began to focus on spiritual technology. What is spiritual technology? It is technology that assists spiritual development. It can range from external tools such as crystals, wands, frequency generators, healing tools, and more. It also can include meditation techniques that have elaborate processes to them or steps that seem as if they provide a shortcut to a desired goal, but can often instead lead the practitioner along a path of distraction. All tools are neutral and can be used in a balanced way, an addictive way, or a way that controls others. This era in the Vega civilizations is a challenging one, and it connects to the era on Earth in present day, where many are looking for spiritual shortcuts instead of doing the real, deep inner work necessary for spiritual transcendence. It just kind of appears when you're reading, it could mean different things depending on the surrounding cards, your life circumstances and past karma. Perhaps it may imply that you are becoming too addicted to spiritual technology and need to look at your inner self as a source of evolution. Or perhaps the opposite is true. Perhaps you can benefit by investigating spiritual technology in a balanced way. It could also be pointing to past lives in Vega for Atlantis in which you dealt with the misuse of technology. Go within and examine what this card means in the context of the other factors mentioned above. Right? Yeah, and cheers to those developing their use of spiritual tools and stuff like that. That's also what can be found at witchyutopian.com. You know, I know, a little self-advert, but it's okay because I make things, and this is why I make fucking things. I make things because I know the alchemy I'm in, right? So the power behind it, like I make runes handcrafted, I make witch runes handcrafted, I make manifesting scripting handcrafted, I make freaking Animal totem. Handcrafted. Everything I do is handcrafted. Change. Andromeda. Parallel. Seeds of polarity. Lyra and the path. Right? So we got parallel and the path. Right? So also. Here we go. I don't want for the men here to be like, oh, what about the Sigma males and all this kind of stuff? If you watch the other videos that I'm gonna link, I was referencing Sigma male personality traits there too. So definitely watch those videos. So this was the first time I've ever done the female, because when I did the other videos, it was on the male Sigma personality type. And so the names of those videos are but the creativity unblocker one, go to Success Party, Real Love Reading Excerpt. All right, it says after party success is the what is those things called? The banner? I don't know. Oh no, it's in Unlocking Creativity Live Party. The live party one. The live party one is the one that has the exercise of the labyrinth exercise. Okay, that was from like 10, 11, 12 days ago, whatever. Anyway, 10 days ago. Right? So, and then the one with the Sigma, the male personality, the listings and the readings and stuff like that. Some of you should also check where it says Eye of the Dragon, creator story, when they know it all but don't know shit. Flame On, 1111 Romance Oracle, that's another one you can go check out. I'm trying to look. The Rise of the Sigma. Here we go. Sigma's Rise. Are you a Sigma personality? This is 3 weeks ago. Okay. Then you should also go check out Earth Angel Transformers. It says lunar, blood moon, eclipse. The rise of the Sigmas starts here. This was 4 weeks ago. Angel Oracle, Revelations, the Tea on Love, whatever. So go check those out. I'll share the link. Yeah, so you can go check out some of those starters. I've been posting and I have never deleted my videos. My YouTube is like a documentary of my own personal evolution and growth on here that has been recorded. And so if you are early on in spirituality and behavioral unpatterning, you know, certain patterns and stuff like that or whatever, go back to the earlier years of when I first started. And I did a lot of videos like that some don't even have titles on it, like all this kind of stuff. A lot of them are in yellow and things like that, but Cosmic Evolution. It's the Cosmic Evolution series from like 5 or 6 years ago, you know, that help with Cosmic Evolution, Twin Flames Ignite, Cosmic Evolution, Feel More, React Less, Cosmic Evolution, Boundaries, Live Victoriously, Cosmic Evolution, ┕ Cosmic Evolution, Happy Energy to You, Cosmic Evolution, Off with Their Heads, Cosmic Evolution, Why Do You Do What You Do, something Cosmic Evolution, Trigger Happy. This is 5 years ago. Cosmic Evolution, Are You a Part of, what is this one? Are You a Part, Cosmic Evolution, Feel More, React Less. This one is, Are You a Part of the Emerging Soul Tribe? This is from 5 years ago, okay? Are you a part of the Emerging Soul Tribe? Maybe you are. So I even wrote, Consider the Sacred Convergence, Part 3. Excitedly, I drive and dance for our emerging times. Our most energetic high bursting to life. There is unity within our soul tribe community. Blessings, beautiful soul tribe. Now is our time. So you can go to these things. There's a lot of mana in there too. Cosmic evolution, breaking the habit. Like if you have a bad habit and stuff like that. Cosmic evolution, breaking the habit. Driving, I did a lot of this 5 years ago, breaking the habit. How cool would you be if you dived into your deep, removing all that you see? Would you see clearly now that the rain is gone? Join me in breaking the habit. Okay. Cosmic Evolution, STFU Part 2. This is the game. When I started 5 years ago, when I started introducing the game. Going in a little deeper, helping further explain the concept of the STFU game. Do you want to play? Engage this way. This is our mind, body, heart, and soul revolutionary reign, empowering games. Come join me every day and let's take every dive needed to infuse our whole sublime namaste loves, right? Funny because I don't say namaste anymore. But yeah, evolution, right? Cosmic evolution. Do you live with heightened sensitivity? This was 5 years ago. None of this sharing is easy. We are all experiencing life in various ways, and most of society's ways of sharing openly is done mostly by which is already accepted by society as acceptable and normal, and everything else that does not fit this mold of acceptance is debunked, questioned, ruled out as not being truth, labeled, criticized, denied by the masses. Limited perceptions have ruled over evolution for so long that it has made it extremely difficult for many sensitive souls whom are receptive and experiencing otherworldly types of experiences. It becomes so threatening to one's spirit, so many never grow through enough to share, many fearing and even maybe subconsciously believing that they are crazy and that something is wrong with them. Who the fuck wants opposition like that being forced upon them? Natural defense mode is to shut down and numb down our own natural receptivity to other things that are also another alternate reality existing multidimensionally. And so this sharing of my own most innate personal otherworldly transformational journey that I do consciously and wholeheartedly embrace. This is me facing my own fears too and fully embracing my own cosmic evolution of truth that I shall continue to share because I am aligned as fuck and this is rare. And super plus is that I care. So I share. Okay, this is 5 years ago too. Cosmic evolution, this is 4 years ago. Saturn leaves. Saturn leaves. What is this about? Saturn leaves Sagittarius, entering Capricorn. My sun in fire Sagittarius passionately celebrates Saturn's exit from its whirlwind of express, now entering its home sign is Capricorn. We live and we learn and we grow. Gypsy poetess, car ride flow. Join me in celebration as the weights are being uplifted and rejoiced in every single way. Join me on the mind, body, heart, and soul infusion of love's revolution. Click subscribe for these are our times. Namaste, love, and light wave healing channel. I'm an alternative lifestyle healer. I'm into this like channel, spiritual advisor, whatever, blah, blah. Embracing the goddess in me. I love what I do and do what I love. Love travels the world and I love connecting with beautiful souls such as yourself, and I contribute to the collective in any way that is aligned with my own soul's journey of spirit. I practice various methods of healing with constantly evolving philosophies while developing my own that becomes my truth and alchemy. The only way to discover is to explore. Together we explore ways that constantly reign supreme for you on your own land. There is no one way to do anything. The key is discovering your own way that works for you. This is where I come in and am most helpful to you on your journey. We discover how we can best utilize our time together and use this in the most prosperous of ways that benefit all involved. Being open to a learning experience that grows as we grow should always be considered an option that will be beneficial to our collective whole. Be open to evolutionizing your own beautiful life. This is a beautiful journey we are on, and I am here for you. As master creators, we are responsible for the upkeep of our own alchemy. Are you ready to journey with me? Let us connect some more. So, I've been doing this a very long time. Right, I'm just sharing with you places you can go that are already there, that if you find your peace, that it's just helpful to you. It's mana for your wholeness, you know what I mean? Cosmic evolution talks with the hermit, me, right? Cosmic evolution, high vibrational, a tool, or this is another one you can go to. Cosmic evolution, a tool you can use to silence your mind. Tips and tricks, okay? Tools you can use to silence your mind. Here's one tool for you to incorporate and use to help you silence your mind, creating collective order out of chaos. Simple daily inspirations meant to, this is 5 years ago, okay? Simple daily inspirations meant to inspire you to find the peace that exists within you, but we must take practical steps needed to get us there. Mind, body, heart, and soul infusion. Accept no substitutions, not mistakes. Definitely, especially if you're having, if you challenge, baby, I'm gonna help you right now. She's gonna go get groomed. She needs a grooming, but hold on one second. Right. So it's 5 years ago too. Okay. Cosmic evolution, addiction. Here we go. This was 5 years ago too. Addictions, many lives, many masters. If you haven't read that book, please do, especially if you're on your spiritual journey. There are so many layers that must be peeled through to get through to the root of everything you do. Understanding all the whys you do as you do. Poetry and freedom to express helps me peel back every layer as I go through, rise up and shine within. In this cosmic evolution, I am in for my win. Poetic spins to every story I share. Take care, mind, body, heart, and soul. Infuse your whole. Right? So this is addictions, many lives, many masters. Let's talk about that. We have cosmic evolution. Downloads can feel like overload. This was 5 years ago too. Here enters a time where I am on some overload mastery, decoding sublime, equal 'tis the season for major uploads of receiving, and this time is positively evolutionary. How are you feeling as you continuously align with your divine, even during these shaky, rocky times? Are you ever more alive? Now are our times. Click and subscribe to this fabulous healing and connecting channel, attuned to these vibrations of love, peace, art, harmony, everything meant to support you all on their wholesome journey of ultimate discovery. Here's some oracle guidance offering insight at this time. Namaste. You can go there. Cosmic evolution. What really matters anymore? Some poetry and emotion filling these oceans as I drive further in alignment, understanding that if there is nothing there, what really matters anymore? How centered in truth are we really? Some poetry with feeling, something this world is definitely needing. Right? This is like 5 years ago. I was talking about the Dark and Light of My Soul, book 1, Love Bites, available on Amazon then too. You got the link over there too. You got the link to my old blog, enchantingbabble.blogspot.com. The beginning of my twin flame journey, a wild series of unfolding coming. The story, The Dark and Light of My Soul, book 1. Okay. The articulation, souls recognize each other by vibes, not by appearance. Right. Life purpose driven oracle, shifting perspectives, cosmic evolution, how to break invisible chains. I think this is my first ever video. Breaking chains, cosmic evolution, how to break invisible chains holding you back, breaking chains poetically, healer. The seed planting of something more. The only way to break any invisible chain is to first identify it for everything it is and everything it is not. And this video is me breaking it all. I am an alternative lifestyle healer. I'm an intuitive or whatever. All right. Embracing the goddess, blah, 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 whatever. And that was my template at that time. But I even did my videos in yellow because I wasn't comfortable being on camera in the light.
Feel inspired to express and to share. It's feeling ever so rare.
My phone is not cracked. That's just the plastic.
Poetry. Poetry is always there. Years.
This is 5 years ago, I think. Wait.
Blockage that prevents me from fully expressing all of these. So much expression. Words form and articulate. Habit. Time there.
Well, hi. So we got change and seeds of polarity. You might be around for a while, and you might have newbies looking at your old ones, using them in their new things, acting as if it's their download. Whatever things you do. In physical reality, change is the only constant. We spend so much time and energy trying to keep things the same that we miss the profound experience that change brings. Andromedans live in a very unusual reality paradigm, that of constant change. The change is so dramatic that the only way to orient yourself in reality is to have a strong inner compass based on consciousness. You have pulled this card because either you have a strong connection with Andromedan, you love change, or you need to connect with Andromedan energy and let go of the fear of change. This is your next lesson. It may seem odd that the energy of a galaxy outside of ours is being utilized in this stuff. The reason for this is that you can see yourself more clearly when there is a contrasting idea that can serve as a comparison. The energy of the Andromedan galaxy provides this contrast to help us see ourselves more clearly. Within the template for experience in our reality lies the issue of polarity. This is the primary theme we must explore on our way back to wholeness. In addition, we have a tendency to like things to stay the same so that we can feel safe and secure. This part of our nature is based on ego need, and until we transcend that need, we will always stay stuck. Living in an Andromedan reality requires us to create an anchor to reality in our own consciousness rather than to the outside world. This is an important concept that actually has to do with how humans will eventually master space travel. You have a lot of spiritualists talking about astral traveling and all this kind of stuff and acting like they're part of the experience. But ask them to go into detailed articulation about that of their experience, and they wouldn't fucking be able to unless they were reading verbatim something else somebody else fucking said. It's empty. Non-existent. It's a lie. Don't believe everything you hear from the outside. Many people want to be part of something, do something, connect with something, and they're seeking outside that which is for that something, and just why it's so empty. I say this all the time to people, like, don't believe everything that just because somebody says it doesn't mean. Go deeper. Go deeper. Go deeper. No, astral travel. It's just because it sounds cool. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I don't know where that came from. Oh, Andromedans. That's why I'm like, oh, okay. Like, where did this conversation come from? We're tapping in, turning on, tuning in, right? We listen, my friend. I don't need to be there to have the experience to hear that which occurs, right? So, yeah, and for that too, like the observation too, like you might see things too in passing. Like there's many things, like, you know, like there's just like certain readers that I'll see, like let's say that I can see their harmony and their truth and what they bring to the table, and they're the hybrids that I see, right? And all this kind of stuff. And it's wonderful that they're nurturing the inner deep for real on some not superficial kind of layering that's deep, that's impressive. Do you stay in, like, does that mean that you watch their whole entire video? No, you acknowledge the presence, that which is, you know, whatever the case may be. And, you know, and you just are acknowledging now to the, like, the growth of that, all that you have created and the impact that it has and the ripple effect of change, right? Anyway, there's like 50 conversations happening right now. 50 million. Right? So Andromeda Galaxy provides the consciousness to help us see blah, blah, blah. This part of our nature is based on blah, blah, blah. This is an important concept that actually has to do with how humans will eventually master space travel. There we go. It is also profoundly connected to spiritual awakening. Thus, Andromedas act as masters and guides for our evolution, teaching us to move from polarity and the fear of change to integration and embracing of the changing nature of reality. If this card appears in your spread, look closely at your relationship to change. Are you addicted to it, or do you fear it? Perhaps it is time to forge a new relationship with one of the only constants of your life. change, right? Then you have polarity, right? Which is over here, right? So we have the polarity. See the polarity. As humanoid races began growing throughout the Lyran system, the yin-yang principle of duality became more pronounced. At first, the polarities remained balanced, but because our cosmic journey is about growth and the integration of polarity, those polarities had to become more pronounced before they could be healed. Take a look at how polarity plays out in your life today. Do not fear it as you did in ancient times. Learn how to stay balanced, even amid the temptation to choose one pole over the other. Wisdom comes from embracing both rather than choosing one side over another. Everybody wants to fight, right? Instead of embracing the polarity of all that is, right? Everybody wants it to be one thing. My way or the highway. Take rocks. As we progress through the process of our separation from the source and of our journey into polarity, this card represents the beginning era of polarity that began to manifest in the Lyran colonies that later branched out to the future Lyran colonies and races that came from Lyra. This further fragmentation was a necessary step in our journey into polarity, but at this point in time, the Lyrans were in immature civilizations like Alpha, Sigma, going back into that polarity of difference that is similar yet the same and needed in every kind of way, and the imbalance that it came, right, from, and the energies, right, the point, right, comes from this polarity of difference, right? So thus there were times in their past that were very dark because these young beings had no roadmap by which they could navigate polarity. They often got sucked into choosing negative or positive and furthering the fragmentation. On Earth now, we have the wisdom of our ancestors within us, Lyrans included, to help us navigate this treacherous road, and most likely that we won't make the same mistake as our forefathers. If this card comes up in your reading, it can often serve as a warning to you to not polarize your life right now. It's just like with the toxic spirituality of this whole karma. You're going to get your karma. You're going to get your ill-deserved. Yeah, that's it. It's not saying anything bad because that's it. That's yourself and all this kind of stuff. But that's toxic as fuck. That's toxic as fuck because you're choosing one side over the other. Granted, too, and that polar difference. Right, wrong, light, dark. There is no light without the dark. There is no dark without the light. And you have the war between the light and the dark, but the light and the dark are infused the same. They're infusion. They're husband and wife. Light and dark are husband and wife. So, and they're complementary to each other. And they're sick of your war against the other. Because they've been married, sanctioned, and divine, even when your war has ruled your mind. So get it right. They often got sucked into choosing negative or positive and furthering fragmentation. On Earth now, we have the wisdom of our ancestors, blah, blah, blah. And this card from blah, blah. Examine your choices and actions carefully. Even when you think you might be making a choice from a place of neutrality, look deeper. The idea of good and evil, which is a polarity many humans encounter, is really an illusion. Can you go beyond those value judgments, which are labels created by the mind, and see what lies beyond a polarized reality? It's deep, right? So like these Sigma friendships and stuff like that, right? These polarities of existence, you're learning something, right? Like even with the Sigma like thing, right? 𝓕𝗁𝒪𝒃, future 7, 8 is great, right? But it's not without challenge, it's not without resistance, but you are the force, you are the infinite force, right? You got the infinity symbol and the number 8, right? So future is great, and it's the birthing of something, because if you see, there's like in this, I looked at this like a incubation of some sort, right? Something's being incubated now for the future. And it's like this little pea in a pod right over here, but there's a lot of color being emerged into that, right? I'm gonna wrap this up after this. Oh shit, yeah. In the ancient days, the vegan mystics developed the practices as a way to always connect with the source or home, using them as a homing beacon. Eventually, they no longer needed spiritual technology or spiritual processes to make this connection. They felt the sources in them at all times. You too have this ability deeper than you learn to quiet the mind through breathing or meditation and then just let go. As you trust in your practice, the feeling of connectedness to the source will grow and grow until it permeates every part of your life. If you need help, ask the ancient vegan mystics to assist you. Maybe cut out meat if you're eating meat. You don't have to do it forever. If you don't want to, moderation is key. I just recently started eating meat again with my daughter, and it doesn't mean that we're going to be eating meat in totality again. But I don't want to be judged either. For years we go without eating it and all this kind of stuff. There's reasons for everything, like into whatever and stuff like that. So but maybe fasting certain kind of things that can taint your system. Drink only water. If you drink soda, if you drink other kind of things, caffeinated beverages and all this kind of stuff, cut certain things out, like a fast. Fasting is so important. It increases your discipline and your own spirituality with your own control-based system. Sometimes you'll realize when I want to eat when I'm hungry. You'd be surprised how you, when you become conscious of it, of how much you can just eat for no reason. You know? So you too have this ability deeper than you. Learn to quiet the mind through breathing or meditation, and then just let go. As you trust in your practice, feeling of connectedness to the source will grow and grow and grow until 𝓐𝓵𝓹𝓱𝓪. This time stream represents the vegan culture after they healed the greatest challenges of the young species in the prism, so young species. In the prism of linear cosmology, the vegans were the species who retain their memories and connections to the source, the unfragmented aspects of creation most completely. Their system of mysticism is well known throughout the galactic family and has influenced countless civilizations, including Earth. This is because they have retained the energetic memory of the unified field of creation. This memory acts like a homing beacon, a proverbial light in the darkness that realigns them when they lose their way, like an ability to sense the true north. While this trait is attributed to the vegans because of their spiritual commitment and their self-discipline, every species has the ability to remember the essence of creation and never lose its way. It is only when beings get distracted by physical reality that they believe they have gotten lost. If this card is in your reading, take a look at the surrounding cards in your life circumstances. The message may be that you need to go within and find your center once again, right? Find true north and trust it. The card could also be affirming that you are already strongly tapping into the skill, but most likely it is encouraging you to develop your natural ability to reconnect with source, higher self, right? God, or whatever term you wish to use to denote the intelligent force in the universe that unifies us all. It's a beautiful, right? Yeah, amazing. Amazing. All right, so what final words of wisdom do we have here, right? So I'm going to keep on talking about this friendship development, right? Cosmic midwifery. We got this yesterday, so definitely go check out, not yesterday, the last video that I made, the midwife, right? We are being consistent, imbalance and positive polarity. Played is the path, 9, 10, 11, 12, which is 12, which is 3, so we're building the Holy Trinity, right? So imbalance and positive polarity. Yeah, there's an imbalance and positive polarity for sure. We'll read that one and then we're gonna really go, okay? So, me too. I opened up to the page. Okay. In the because I debated whether I was gonna read this one. That's funny. In the ancient Palladian history, one of the core lessons of the species had to do with denying the shadow side within. Amazing. So this is a lot of like that narcissistic kind of alpha 2 spirituality that is leading the way, denying the shadow side of their way, that they want to go call everybody else toxic as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because they're victimizing a lot of the stuff, the strain or the problems that they've had in this life or experience, and the attacks that they have felt that were not fair or stuff like that, or just like, you know, the pain, the trauma that they're dealing with, healing from, and all this kind of stuff. And the shadow side within themselves that they'll deny, but meanwhile it's leading their own hive, you know what I'm saying, inside, but they just suppress it and act like, and it's just like hypocrisy and energy. Whoa. right? They only want us to focus on the positive and habitually suppress the dark aspects. It is important to recognize. I have like this too, like in my artistry too, like it stopped me from sharing a lot of my poetry for a while when I started to share it, because people were associating my poetry dark with dark. And they're like, oh my gosh, I wish you healing and all this kind of stuff. Mind you, the poems I'm sharing with you, I didn't just write. This was like years ago and all this kind of stuff. But people interpreting and like, you know, and tapping into the shadow aspect, or like when I share something on my dark twisted humor and they'd be like, that's not funny. I'm like, okay, you didn't find it funny. I did. Made me laugh. It made me shift. You know, and so the shadow aspect, right, that people will crucify you for, if you are free in your yin and yang aspects, your light and dark and all this kind of stuff. But anyways, they only wanted to focus on the positive and habitually suppress their dark aspects. It is important to recognize and embrace all aspects, dark and light, in your life now. Try to see where you suppress the darkness inside, such as emotions or pain that you don't want to feel. See it, love it, and dialogue with it. Use it as part of your growth. In doing so, you will heal many old habits and patterns from lifetime past on Earth and in the stars. This card represents one of the core lessons of the Pleiadian people when they were a young species. They had a tendency to push away the negative emotions and only acknowledge the positive in life. These unprocessed emotions festered on a collective level, and after millennia, this submerged energy has to be released. There's unconscious negative energy created an immune system disease that ravaged the Pleiadian people. No one could find a cure. It wasn't until they sought help from the shamans of their society that they fully understood what was happening. After much inner searching, the shamans realized that the repressed negative energy on a collective level was creating the immune disease. Right, you could be suffering from certain kind of illnesses and all that kind of stuff. Like think about how much you suppress energetically. You know what I mean? They made many suggestions to release this energy, and eventually the disease appeared. And just to even think about like even our own cycles, like, you know, women, like if you're having complications, getting pregnant and all this kind of stuff too. Okay, you know, this may not apply to all of you and stuff like that, but the time that it took, if you do end up getting pregnant and all this kind of stuff, or the frustration and all this kind of stuff, like you need to walk your labyrinth of truth. It wasn't until they made many suggestions to release this energy, and eventually the disease disappeared. Humans are genetically most connected to the Pleiadian people, and we have a tendency to do the same, to push away our unpleasant emotions and the dark aspects of our own psyche. Many of the diseases we face today are because of this repressed emotion. If this card came up in your reading, you're most likely had experience in the Pleiadian system during this era in which this issue of repressed emotion was happening. It is also a message to continue to stay connected to the emotions you are feeling and never push them away. You can write about them or face and embrace them in meditation. If you make a commitment to this process, you will live a happier and healthier life. Right? So anyway, so make sure to watch both of these. In the present, we're pushing the envelope, okay? We're pushing it, and we are being supported in every kind of way. So don't lose sight of the elevation and the evolution that is happening within you. And just understand, if you have, especially if you're early on too into your spiritual connection, like really analyze what role you are, whether you're the alpha personality type or sigma personality type. And then really look at the relationships that you have, the friendships that you have with the people, right? Because it's going to be your polarity too. And just really be honest with yourself about, even if it's not clear about how they feel, just understand backhanded compliments or even like over the top love bombs in some kind of way, but something still feels off or something, like, or they're just negative, like, you know, like negative Nancy's and other kind of dynamics, like, you know, you can't ignore certain kind of aspects. And, you know, and people can hide themselves. They can pretend. You know what I mean? And so just be mindful about the suppression, oppression, depression. And sometimes it could be just energetically. So someone might cipher off of you. If it's a toxic alpha female and you're their friend, best believe they are ciphering your energy. You might start to have other kind of experiences and all this kind of stuff. And they may taint, or you might miss out on certain kind of things, or just certain kind of things, you know, to be mindful about. All right. So thank you so much for tapping in, turning on, tuning in. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like this video. And let me know how these videos resonate with you and what more you would like to hear about. If there's anything that I didn't like articulate in a way and you want me to articulate better, do let me know. Communication is a two-way motherfucking street. If not, I'm just gonna be my freestyle delicious as I always am. You know what I mean? So either way, until next time, love and divine alchemy for all of you.